Born Nerds podcast. I'm Sean Mott, your host. Today we have Jonathan King from Shelter Music Group. He's an artist manager. He manages bands like Moontooth, Starkill, Kingsman, Begotten, and a ton more. And today we chat about last night's WWE pay-per-view, Money in the Bank. Before we end that conversation, there's a few news topics. Tamara Morrison, who played Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones, is returning in Mandalorian Season 2 as Boba Fett. Fucking amazing news. I can't wait to see Boba Fett come back. Hopefully they delve into his backstory a little bit of how he gets out of the Sarlacc pit and all that stuff. And there's also speculation that he might be playing Rex as well, which you've seen the Clone Wars animated series. You know who Rex is. San Diego Comic-Con just announced that they're going to do a virtual version of the con this year, which I'm super stoked about. I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con or really any cons at all. So I'm definitely going to be participating with this and seeing what they have to offer. I'm still sure that Marvel is going to play a big part in all of this with, you know, the new movies coming out. I'm sure new trailers or teasers for the shows and the movies, and maybe even a few announcements for future movies. We'll see. And also there is some speculation coming out that Henry Cavill will return as Superman. I know there's been some weird different kind of drama of, is he going to come back? Are they going to cast a new Superman? There was news of a Supergirl movie coming out, but that just came out that that's getting put on the back burner for now, which hopefully is going to lead to a Man of Steel 2. I know a lot of people are really hoping for that to happen. That's it for the news. Let's get into this recap with Jonathan King. Jono, what's up, man?
Not much. How are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Another day in the house.
Yeah, speaking of being stuck in the house, how has the coronavirus affected you?
Well, I mean, it's definitely changed what we do for work with a lot of our artists now not being able to go on tours and all that fun stuff. So it's a lot of figuring out, you know, what we can do while we're at home. And just kind of playing the waiting game and seeing when we can get everyone back on the road.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate circumstances we're in is when everything will get back to normal. It's the like every other, not every other, but most other businesses, once they say you can go back, they're just good. They can jump back up. With us, we're like, okay, cool. Now we can start planning when to go back. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be weird.
Yeah. For sure. The story of how we met, usually I talk about how I met my guests, if I've met them. Some people I haven't met in person, which has been cool to get people who aren't super close friends. But yeah, I know we met just kind of through the grapevine of the music industry. I'm pretty sure it was through DeFonce.
Usually is, yeah.
Yeah. And then we finally met in person summer when I was in LA, and we kind of hung out at your office a few times. That was awesome. Yeah. Shooting the shit, got some lunch. It's a good time.
It's an actual FaceTime, which is kind of rare in music.
It is, but it's nice when it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I enjoy it way better than, I mean, I'm fine with talking to people on the phone and stuff like that, but it's way nicer when you get that one-on-one or like, you know, FaceTime.
Exactly.
Do you remember the moment or maybe the match or something that got you into wrestling?
It's one of the things where like I always remember watching it, like, because I think it was like I've been watching since like 88, 89. So when I was like 7, 8 years old, like I was already watching it. Like I just found it on like Channel 9, I think, out here. And it was, you know, WWF superstars. So it was obviously the Hogans, the Warriors, the people like that. And then it was just, I loved that. And then I guess we were kind of lucky to have cable. So we would find all the other wrestling shows that were on in the area too. So we would, not only get WWF, like we would watch, you know, WCW on TBS. We would watch, I mean, even go to the 90s, like we got ECW out here. We got USWA. Damn. We got all the stuff that was on ESPN and, you know, Sports Channel at the time. So yeah, it was cool. Like I said, I don't remember a time not watching it. You know, me and my brothers were just, that was the thing that we did together, is we always just watched whatever wrestling was on TV.
Oh, that's awesome. You didn't like get out of it ever? You kind of just stayed with it the whole time?
I mean, there was probably a good couple of years I kind of fell out, probably around 2003, 4 probably.
Yeah.
I don't know, got kind of sucked into work and shit like that. And it was just no time
Yeah.
to keep up on everything. I don't know. After the WCW stuff, I kind of
Bailed out.
yeah, because it was like, what was the point? Like, they weren't even trying anymore, and it was just all right.
No, yeah. Did you? Oh, yeah, because there was no competition
No
really
competition.
anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
ECW
everything went.
they weren't competition; they were just the alternative, and they
They try to
eventually
bring.
bought them anyway.
Yeah, like I try to get back into the new incarnation. Like, oh, they're bringing back ECW, and then it was just garbage.
It was
Like,
not the same for sure.
yeah, no, it was like, who wants to see Sheamus in ECW? Fucking no one.
No one.
Yeah.
Then, so do you remember what brought you back from the little break?
It was just Raw was just on one night, and I was like, oh, to see what's going on, and I just hooked me back into it. It's one of those things where you can fall in and fall out,
Oh
and kind
yeah,
of
for sure.
not really lose place.
Yeah, pretty much the only reason I've been watching these pay-per-views is because of the podcast, because I had Frank on and we did WrestleMania, and I honestly wasn't even going to watch WrestleMania because I fell out of WWE probably a year, maybe longer than a year ago. It just like, I was like, this is not doing it for me. I'm good.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point with them where it's, you don't have to watch Raw because it's the same shit every week leading up to whatever the pay-per-view is going to be. So that's all you got to watch.
Yeah, exactly. And they never really do anything captivating or crazy on normal TV. So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah. And especially now with no crowd, it's even harder to watch.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Yeah, I was going to ask, have you been keeping up with any of the wrestling shows since the no crowd started?
I mean, I think AEW is doing a pretty good job with the way they're handling it. Just having those few people out there actually does make a difference, because
it makes a huge difference.
That little sound in the background is all you need. And they were smart to be the first ones to, use the hard cam towards the entrance stage, so it's not just a bunch of black space, which WWE quickly
stole.
Copied right away. So I mean, I think they're doing a good job with the limitations they have. WWE and NXT have just been hard because completely silent.
It's rough, and the ring noise is, I don't know if it's because they have the few people that AEW, it's not as awkward, the inside ring noise, but it seemed, especially for WrestleMania, it seems like they turned it up, and I was like, it was so distracting, like I couldn't pay attention to anything else, just them like terribly shit talking each other, and I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, it was like the old, like you're watching the old tapes from Japan from the early 90s when the guys were yelling loudly in English and the Japanese had no idea what they were saying.
Yeah,
I know what it was like.
Exactly. But I totally agree. AEW's been doing like a very, very good job, especially the latest episode that went live. It seemed like they have even more people. I know they were like spread out more.
Yeah.
But just the vibe of it was amazing. And that main event was bonkers that they had. It was amazing. It was so good.
The amount of people they had in the back area was kind of amazing too for a closed set, and they're not supposed to have that many people, it feels like, but it was pretty packed back there.
Yeah, I kept reading things about Florida about how they can let people in.
Yeah, I
like
think they're
25 capacity or something, like 25% or something like that.
Yeah, I think the next couple of weeks you actually have a small live crowd for AEW, I think, at least.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll see if they do it for Double or Nothing. It's interested to see what they do.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, they kind of have the setup with their little, they have their performance center do their own shit, because it's set up outdoors, so they can kind of get away with it.
Yeah, they kind of have a leg up because the owner. They own a football stadium.
Yeah.
And they happen to have that side, whatever, Daly's place, the side arena or whatever you want to call it, amphitheater. So they're definitely set up better than WWE too.
Yeah, which is weird, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, they do have more money than WWE, so. Well, Tony Khan's his net worth is like 3 times Vince's. It's insane.
That's true. But I
Dude is
wonder how much of
rich.
that he actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, you
Yeah.
don't know how much of it he actually puts into it. If he only puts
Oh,
a
true. True.
million of it into there.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like that dude has wasted no expense at all throughout
Oh
this
no,
whole thing.
they're out to win. Yeah, they're trying to make their name.
Yeah. They were doing a pretty good job, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
No, I enjoy it.
Let's get into Money in the Bank.
Ooh,
Did you watch the kickoff?
I did.
Okay, cool. I mean, I watched the match. I didn't really pay attention to anything else. I
Yeah,
pretty much just watched it.
it
So
was on mute.
yeah. Jeff Hardy, Cesaro. I guess the biggest takeaway it'll probably come up throughout this whole episode is that pretty much every winner was pretty predictable.
Yeah,
You
and it's
know,
unfortunate
yeah.
for a guy like Cesaro who so good.
It's so funny when my friends text me. He's like, I really think, and it's funny because he likes to openly trash AEW, which is funny. I think he just does it to piss me off. But he was like, I feel like a guy like Cesaro would be better suited in AEW, and I was like, he would be better suited pretty much anywhere else.
Anywhere, yeah.
It's such a bummer because he's had such cool spurts. Even in the tag team, every tag team he's been lumped in has been awesome, and that's just him getting lumped with some other dude. And he's had so much fire in single runs that they just immediately distinguish. Like, they don't even let him get off the ground. Like,
Yeah, it's amazing. Like that match, like the match tonight, that was 95% him
yeah,
carrying Jeff Hardy to,
pieces.
to be hit that sloppy swanton at the end, and that's it.
Like
But yeah, it's like I don't understand why. I mean, he's got a good personality outside of the ring. I don't know why they don't let that shine on TV.
it seems like that's a case for a lot of people,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
or they make them portray someone who's not them or not an
yeah,
extension of them, and it just fails because
yeah.
obviously, like, you're just forcing someone to be something they're not, or something they don't
Exactly.
want to be, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, and I kind of saw Jeff Hardy winning. Obviously, he just came back. He beat Sheamus, which I don't even think was a match. I don't know. It was weird. I watched the clip on
Yeah,
Twitter, and it just seemed like it was like a run-in thing. I don't really understand what that was about. But and it's even wild seeing Jeff Hardy beat Sheamus in 2020. Like, I don't know how that makes sense,
I don't
but
know. It's very like I mean it's cool Jeff Hardy's back, but it's very tough to watch him right now because he doesn't seem like he seems a
he's
step behind.
yeah, he's
I don't
just
know.
old, and
Yeah,
he's old and
his
he's like broken.
yeah his style doesn't suit his age.
No, not anymore. And he's been in like countless interviews about how the Swanton like kills him, and yet he does
Yeah,
it every match.
yeah,
Like, it's like, give the dude a break, man.
yeah. You
And
kind of wince when you watch him.
yeah, like you can tell it
Yeah.
hurts him every time he does it. And I grew up watching the Hardy Boys. They're like one of the reasons I fell in love with wrestling, and it's just a
Mm.
bummer. Matt, on the other hand, knows he can't really go, so he
Yeah,
does things in a smart way where his character really does more of the work than
yeah,
his
exactly.
actual wrestling. Though he did pull off that crazy power bomb on Dynamite, which I did not see coming. I was like, oh, okay, all right,
But even
dude.
yeah, with that he was he would take the punishment, hit a couple of his key moves, then go back
Yeah,
out, come
yeah,
back, yeah, and then that was it.
yeah. And with Jeff,
Um,
it was like it's like so many of the WWE stars I feel like just get John Cena, where they not more recent John Cena, but John Cena in his prime. It was just five moves of doom. He did the
mhm.
twist of fate. He did the whisper in the wind. He did the swanton. Like he did the leg drop thing, like the wishbone
Yeah,
leg drop thing. He just went through the motions, did his thing, and end up winning. Like,
yeah. While poor Cesaro does everything else for 10 minutes,
it takes the L.
and, that, and that's it.
There's a way to make people look good and not win, but
Of course,
not like that.
no. That's unfortunate. Is he always makes himself look good, and he never pays off for him.
No,
Unfortunately,
which is a bummer.
yeah, yeah, huge bummer. But kickoff show, make everyone happy. Jeff Hardy wins, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. Simple match, boom, done.
Yeah,
And then the main card started off with the SmackDown tag title match that had the New Day, the champions, versus Forgotten Sons, The Miz and John Morrison, and the Lucha House Party. So I had a few notes about this. I love the New Day dancing to the Lucha House Party's music. That was amazing.
Oh, that was really good.
Classic New Day, which is super cool that they still work after all this time. It's
they haven't
amazing.
changed. Yeah, they're still the same as they were when they first were the New Day.
Yeah,
and people finally like it.
Yeah, and it's crazy that it just hasn't gotten stale. It's awesome.
No, yeah,
I'm about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's great that it sucks that Xavier's out for a while, but
yeah,
I think New Day had legs for a couple more years if they wanted.
Oh, for sure. And they could definitely play. It would be awesome to see them play into maybe a breakup kind of thing eventually. Though I don't know how they would do it, but if they did it right, it'd be cool, which is questionable with WWE.
Biggie Funk. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, I would love to see Biggie do it like a title run or something. That would be awesome. He's amazing.
Good.
I was waiting for he was like setting up for the spear dive outside, which always terrifies me every time he does it.
Yes, because
it's like the scariest move ever.
Looks like it takes more out of him than anyone else.
Yeah, it's insane. And then Michael Cole on commentary made this comment where he said Lucha House Party is only a couple wins away from being among the great tag teams in WWE history. And I just thought, who thinks that?
Michael Cole. It sucks because they're both so good. Like in my notes was, the Luchas and Forgotten Sons, like they were the two highlights of that match. Like they did the most awesome shit. Yeah, someone like Metalik and Dorado, they're lost in the WWE because that style will never. You're relegated to 205 Live.
Yeah,
and that's really nothing.
And they have a terrible name, and their music is just lucha. Like,
it's borderline racist.
It is. It's terrible. I'm like, these poor guys. Like, oh
yeah.
And they did have some awesome spots in the match. There was a ton of awesome spots in the match. There was the Spanish Fly with Morrison to the outside, which they did an amazing job of setting up everyone so you didn't see them all grouped together on camera. That was really cool. I was like, wow, that was good. Good of them to do that. Also, Jackson Riker's fucking American flag jeans.
I have that in my notes. Riker's pants.
Probably the best part of the whole match, honestly.
I think that team's going to be the Baron Corbin of tag teams, where people just hate them.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what they were in NXT too. People just hated them. Well, it sucks because they're not a bad tag team. The gimmick just sucks. Yeah. Like, who are these guys?
They're just pro wrestling heels. And they look like they listen to Five Finger Death Punch. That's about it.
They actually probably do listen to Five Finger Death Punch.
Guaranteed.
They probably like Trapped, honestly.
Yeah.
I've said this for years, especially since he kind of was rising up in every indie he was in. But John Morrison is amazing. I'm kind of bummed he went to WWE.
Yeah.
He'll just be stuck in this tag team mid-card thing, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's like, I'm glad he's back, but the Miz and Morrison thing isn't hitting with me because they could be doing better apart. Like, it's cool to have this affiliation, but they don't need to be a tag team. It's just wasting both of them.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they just needed something for the Miz because he was so red hot, and then we finally got Miz and Bryan feud, but then the build sucked when it shouldn't have. Yeah. It was already made, and it's just like, I don't know.
It's the typical WWE thing where a guy gets over as a heel, and then they go, "Oh shit, he's over. Let's make him a face," and then it just totally kills why people like them.
Yep.
With Miz, he was finally getting over as being just an asshole, and then all of a sudden his dad's teaming up with him to fight Shane McMahon. What?
I have no idea. The match was pretty good though. It ended it was great. It ended, normal, but it was a pretty good match. I thought they were going to end it super short, so I'm glad we got a couple near falls through it before we got to the end. That powerbomb foot stomp combo from the New Day was sick. I don't know if I've ever seen him do it, but I also don't watch WWE regularly. But it was cool. It was a cool move.
That's definitely a big match move for them, for
sure. And then Riker gets thrown out, even though it's a no DQ match, and even the commentary is like, "It's no DQ. What is he doing?" But that was
going into it, I kind of assumed that's why they were going to win, was because of
Same.
the third guy.
Yep.
But apparently they they changed the rules as they were going.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, I guess it's up to the ref discretion, I guess. But
I guess.
I don't know. It didn't really. I mean, I guess he could have not left, and it's like, what are they going to do? End the match?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Are they? You can't disqualify him.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm glad the New Day won. I mean, who cares? I guess.
I mean, yeah, it'll probably set up more New Day Forgotten Son stuff in the future.
I would imagine they did pin them, I think, on SmackDown or something.
Yeah.
They beat them.
And of course, Lucha House Party takes the pin, so they're there just to protect everybody.
Yep, of course. Poor Lucha guys.
They got their shit in.
They did. They did have some sick moves, honestly. A bunch of awesome Hurricane Rana variations. They were sick, honestly.
Yes.
And then we get a match that you can't believe is in 2020. R-Truth versus MVP. Well, sort of.
I would have much rather had that match than what we got.
I agree. I was like, man, this match is gonna be funny because R-Truth is funny. MVP is he's a character. I was stoked he came out in Black Panther gear. That was cool.
Yeah, it was sick. And then no.
I wrote in my notes, great, Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote.
Just the fucking suck all the wind out of the event. Here comes Bobby Lashley.
It's so wild because he was pretty. I didn't watch TNA religiously, but he was good in TNA, and then he just came here and came back to WWE and was just nothing from the start. I don't understand it.
He should never talk on a mic because that totally kills any credibility he has.
I just kind of like when he had Leo Rush, because Leo Rush was just
that was great.
A little shithead. No, it's funny.
Yeah, that was a great thing. Unfortunately, Leo couldn't hang.
Yeah. But yeah, so that match was pretty pointless.
It was Lashley gets a win because he's getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah, you gotta get the money's worth, I guess. So after that, it was funny because they did that little promo from Corbin, and Sam was like half watching the whole time, and she just goes, "Who's this asshole?" And I'm like, "Well, you nailed it."
Yeah, he's one of my favorite. I love King Corbin because he is the typical pro wrestling heel that you need.
Yeah, I hate him, but I mean that's the point. So
yeah, exactly. You hate how shitty he is.
I just wish he was a better wrestler. He should be like the best wrestler. He's tall. He's pretty fast. He should just be very good, and he's not. And it sucks.
It's great. He doesn't have to. He can just put you in a headlock and make you boo.
He can do that.
It's great.
Except when there's no crowd and there's no boos.
Yeah, that's kind of the weird part of wrestling with no crowd. It kind of kills half of the mystique.
Yeah, 100%. And then up next is the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley is the champion versus Tamina, which I can't believe Tamina is still employed by WWE.
It's good to be the daughter of Superfly.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, my notes for that match were just a bunch of Z's. I had it's as much as you can do.
Yeah, I had a few notes. Bayley did this cool drop kick where she came from the floor and went through, like under the bottom rope. That was pretty cool. Yeah. And the first super kick that she countered in submission was actually really cool. Other than that,
there's another it was another like a Cesaro situation where Bayley worked her ass off to make that match something.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. Like Tamina is just, I don't know, she's just so slow. It's weird.
It's
like she wrestles in slow motion.
Yeah, she like when they announced this, I was like, "That's really the match. That's it."
I mean, the story was interesting in a way. I guess I'm not interested. I don't understand that she was a monster in these months leading up, in WrestleMania and all this shit, and all of a sudden now they're trying to make her mad in the match.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she's like she's obviously the baby face, but it's like who's really rooting for her?
yeah,
I don't
it
know.
was weird, but I mean, it was just another plot point to the Bailey Sasha thing, I guess.
Yeah, which is it really just going to end in Bailey and Sasha again for the 1,000th time? I
It
guess.
has to, right?
I mean, I guess they've been sort of teasing it. The first time they did in the main roster was so bad. I just don't want them to do it again.
Yeah, yeah. It's not going to be executed properly
Yeah, and
with
they'll
another.
never beat that takeover match.
No, because
Like
that's the freedom they have in NXT to actually,
go.
yeah, be wrestlers.
Yeah. Well, even in NXT, that's kind of not even a thing anymore. It is, but it isn't.
No, yeah. Now with the USA thing, they got to be a TV show again.
Yeah. I watched their 2-part takeover thing, and even that, I was like, this is okay. This is not the NXT I remember watching, because I kind of got out of it because as soon as AEW came up, I was like, I'm going to watch this. This is what I want to
Well,
watch.
because NXT is like, especially a takeover is an event where you need that crowd to make
Yeah.
that event feel special.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's empty full
Yeah.
sail crowd.
And
No one
even
cares.
the card was just, I mean, it was just whatever. It's just,
Yeah, they kind of gave up.
you ended with Ciampa Gargano for the 1,000th time.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. It was like, so are those guys never going to go to the main roster then? Because you can't bring this feud up there. You've
No,
done so many things already in NXT.
especially when you have a match called the Final Beat.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, are you saying Ciampa never goes up, or
I
one of them never goes up, or
that's what they kind of have said. They're like, I don't want to go up. I just want to stay in NXT. But it's just even NXT is getting to the point where everything's just it's been the same for the past year. Like Undisputed Era is great, but what have they done the past year? Nothing really. Lost their belts besides Adam Cole, but it's like who's going to be Adam Cole? I don't know.
yeah, a lot of treading water over there with some
Yeah,
stuff.
it's a bummer because they have incredible talent over there, and they're just. I mean, so does the main roster. It's just they're just there.
You have Prince Devitt, and he's not your number one guy. It makes no sense.
No, and he came out as such a big deal, and then just now he's a weird face, sort of looking for an attacker. I don't understand it. You finally give us heel Balor, and then nope, guess not.
It's that thing where everyone thinks it's cool, and then oh shit, we got to make him a face now.
Yeah, of course. We didn't get enough of face Balor for fucking 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So, last 2 matches before the insanity starts. Universal Championship, Braun Strowman is the champion versus Bray Wyatt. So this one, the storyline was there for sure. The way they built into it was cool. Like I said before, Frank Finelli and I talked about WrestleMania, and the Firefly Funhouse was unbelievable. That was probably the coolest thing WWE's done, maybe ever, honestly. And he even said in the podcast, he's interested to see where they go next because, like, what does he do now? He beat John Cena, whatever. He's like, does he go for the title? And he said, which I do agree with, the Fiend shouldn't be going for the title. So if Bray goes for the title, like that makes sense. But even with the storyline, obviously with the history with Braun or Bray bringing Braun in originally, it all makes sense. So that's why I liked, and they haven't done a match with just normal Bray or this version of Bray, I don't think.
They did one. Did he have one with Daniel Bryan? I'm
Was
trying to
it
remember now.
Bray or the Fiend though?
I'm pretty sure Bray had one. Bray had one title defense. I can't remember who it was.
I think he did beat Daniel Bryan, but I think it was totally the Fiend, not his
It was the Fiend,
other. Yeah.
I think I remember Bray coming out with the belt for a match.
Oh yeah, because he did the two. He had like the Universal belt when it was just him, and then the weird freaking mask belt that I hated.
Yeah. The Tom Savini one. Yeah.
Like I said, it makes more sense that Bray is trying to take this off him and bring him in, and him coming out to that entrance music and just the way he was acting was unbelievable. It was so great. I loved it.
It's such a good character. just both versions of it and the things you can do with it.
I'm just glad that the Firefly Funhouse happened and kind of redeemed it after losing to fucking Goldberg.
Goldberg.
And the weird shit with Seth that didn't really make
Yeah,
sense too. So
yeah. I
I'm
mean, that
glad.
essentially was the pivot point for Seth turning heel was because of that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Just
And
because of how poorly received it was.
yeah, well, that whole thing was weird. But I'm glad Firefly Funhouse happened and kept this, because this has easily been one of the best characters the main roster's put out in a long time. So I'm glad
Absolutely.
it's kind of on the back. And even the way this match went, even though Bray didn't win, it still played into, obviously they teased the Fiend coming at the end. So I don't think this is
Yeah.
over. And because I was
Oh
at
no.
first when I saw this, I'm like, oh, I hope this is another theatrical type match. I would love to see that kind of thing, because any more of that, I'm totally down with. But
For sure.
the way they did it was super smart, and it was a fun match. Like, they made Braun look good, and like even Braun's pretty. He's obviously like an athletic guy, but it's not like his moveset is some diverse fucking moveset. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Just a big dude that fucking can move. Yeah.
yeah, so they did a good way where they made both of them look like good opponents. Like we talked before, of you don't need to win to make it a good match. And it's not like this was like a crazy wrestling clinic, but it was
No.
entertaining,
It was
especially
good
with,
back and forth.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And Bray even being like, I told him I could make it happen and stuff, was so awesome. And the puppets popping up, like, you did it. Like, that was cool how Braun played the mind games back. Because
Yeah.
even with Braun, like he was so hot, and they just made him heel for no reason. It kind of killed the momentum ever since. And obviously, we don't really know how he'd be received now after winning the title. I'm sure he would have gotten cheered because he beat Goldberg, but
Oh, for sure.
we don't really
Oh
know
yeah.
how the crowd would react to him at this point. It's kind of the weird thing with WWE, because obviously with AEW, you kind of know who's over, and they're not doing anything to like hurt those characters. But with WWE, it's
Yeah.
hard, because especially with WWE, you don't know what kind of crowd you're getting either. You could get
Exactly.
the biggest asshole
Yeah.
crowd, or the crowd that cheers for everything. So it's super tough to kind of gauge who would be over and who wouldn't be.
That's why I think it's tough for these. I mean, the younger guys that are in these no crowd matches because I mean, a guy like Apollo Crews, you knew before the crowd didn't really give a shit about him, but
Yeah.
they're putting him out here trying to get him over in new angles, and you're not quite sure how it's taking
Yeah. Yeah.
because there's nothing there.
It's so hard. I'm actually curious to see how they're thinking of who to push, or who
Yeah,
to take back, because it's not like they have a crowd to go up.
yeah,
It's
or
just,
why they or like why they think now's the time to bring in a guy like Austin Theory, who no
yeah.
one's ever seen, and literally no one's ever seen in live because of the timing.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, why make that choice now?
Yeah. It was a big jump for sure.
Yeah,
Huge jump for
it was
him. But
huge.
I mean, it was cool. It's kind of a bummer for him too. He's in this like role, and he had that big WrestleMania match, but it was to no crowd. Like,
Yeah,
it's kind of a bummer in a way. But
yeah. I feel bad
I'm
for all those
sure
guys.
I'm sure he's still stoked to be there. You know what I mean? I
No, for
guess.
sure.
But yeah, it was a good match. I love the way they left it, and there were some funny notes of when Braun was running to Bray and he falls over the announce table. He almost kicks Michael Cole like in the face because his legs are so long. I thought that was really funny, because then they played it
Oh,
again, and I was like, oh, okay, he really did almost
he,
nail Michael Cole.
he almost killed that guy.
And it's super funny
Yeah,
that they talked about Braun winning the Money in the Bank, because he is one of the few, or like the smaller percentages, that fail to fucking cash in,
yep.
which
Him
also
and
made
Corbin.
him winning the title even more of like a what, because he lost so many times to Brock. He lost like numerous times to Brock to win the title, and it's just like, oh, so now he just beats Goldberg. Okay.
Yeah, it reeked of desperation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. They were just like, oh, we need the title off Goldberg because he's not coming back. So
we need some kind of bridge to get to the Fiend.
yeah, yeah. Which, I mean, I'd be totally okay with the Fiend getting it back eventually, and it kind of leading to, because like the best long term storytelling with that would be to when John Cena comes back and then he eventually beats him, as maybe even like a heel Cena or an edgier Cena, because obviously they did the whole thing with the chair, with him actually hitting him with the chair, which is him embracing his darker side. So it'd be cool if he won the record breaking or record tying championship win by
I think it'd be him
tying,
if
right?
He beat Flair. I think he's tied with Flair now.
Yeah, now, so it would be the record winning.
So it'd be the 17th time.
Yeah, so and he needs to do it. Like, just it's got to happen.
I think it was just timing right now.
Yeah, it didn't make sense now. Shit. Yeah, it definitely didn't make sense now. The way the match, like I said, if they build to that, that would be the premier storytelling in my opinion, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the way, like you said, with the way Braun's been booked, it's not going to hurt him to lose to the Fiend because he's lost to everyone.
True, especially if it's in some whack, if it's in like a Firefly Funhouse match. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
totally out of your element. Yeah,
because then in the long term, it's actually a 1-1 because Braun did beat Bray.
Yeah, exactly. So they can do the rubber match, and if he loses that, whatever, who cares?
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah, it was fine. It was a fine match. They did it in a way where they didn't make anyone look bad and continue the story, which is kind of a rare thing. So that in WWE, so that's cool. I'm a fan.
Yeah. A+ for that.
And then WWE Championship, Drew McIntyre is a champion versus Seth Rollins. First note I had, super bummed about Seth's new music.
Yes, but I mean, I liked it.
It was fine.
It's just different because we're so used to the Burn It Down.
Yeah, and it's cool music. Honestly, it's a cool theme. It's a cool entrance theme.
It's one of those It's turned into one of those iconic theme songs.
Yeah, 100%.
It has a huge call out at the beginning.
Yeah. It's great. For this, it took a while for the match to, I guess, get into full gear. But when it really started picking up is when Drew hit that overhead suplex, like onto the announce table that he rolled off of.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's when shit really started rolling. It kind of led into like a spine buster into that pin combo that Drew did. And Drew's so fast for being such a massive dude. It's insane.
His athleticism is off the charts for a dude that big.
Yeah, he's massive.
Yeah.
He's a tall motherfucking dude. And he can move. It's crazy. So that was super cool. And then Rollins hit that fucking unreal superplex into Falcon Arrow, which I cannot believe he just deadlifted fucking Drew.
So as we're talking about how fucking huge Drew is, Seth, who's not as big as Drew, just did that to him.
Because they teased it.
Not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, they teased it, and I was like, no way he hits him with that. And then he did it, and I was like, and he made it look easy too.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Those are some hardworking dudes.
Yeah. Kudos to them for that shit, for sure.
No, I mean, I guess we kind of knew they worked well together.
Yeah.
Just based on the stuff they did, was like a year ago, maybe in the past year.
Oh,
when shit was flipped and we had
heel Drew,
psychopath Drew, and so we've known they're good, and another great match between the two of them.
Yeah, a few more notes I had. Drew hit that fucking German when he was in the Tree of Woe, which was nuts.
Yeah,
and they had some awesome back and forth. This is a really good match, definitely the best match of the night for sure. Which is super cool to see Seth Rollins kind of be in true Seth Rollins form, finally.
And I think the Messiah gimmick is great. His embracing of just the self-centered, arrogant person is perfect. Like the way his expressions as he's standing there, like during his entrance and stuff like that, he's got it on point already.
Yeah, heel Seth is my favorite kind of Seth for sure.
That's like I wish. Like this is that was kind of entrance you wish there was a crowd there for, because you want to see how he plays off them and they play off of what he's doing.
I can imagine he probably gets booed, but
for sure,
that's fine.
But
that's his job.
I think it's like he can almost take it to where like what CM Punk was doing back in the Straight Society stuff.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like, I would love to see him take it that, but we got to have a crowd there for that.
Yeah, I do love how he like built a crew with him.
Yeah, It just sucks that what's his name got hurt already.
Yeah, I know. And barely doing anything too, which sucks even worse. Because they weren't
Yeah,
really doing matches. They were just his muscle. It
yeah,
sucks.
but they were great.
Oh,
Him and
well,
Buddy, like,
yeah. Once he brought them in, I was like, whoa, I did not see that coming. That's cool.
yeah,
And then bringing Buddy in was even cooler because that dude can fucking go. I'm glad he's getting like a shine on him because he's
for sure.
amazing for sure.
Yeah, it was him and Blake were. Everyone forget they were NXT Tag Team Champions years ago.
Yeah, they were good too.
Yeah, they were a great tag team. They just had a shitty dubstep theme song.
Yeah, they did have a shitty dubstep theme song. This is a cool ending too. He hit him with the headbutt, bounced off the ropes. Seth did their super kick. He bounced off the ropes and just nails him with the fucking claymore. 1, 2, 3, done. Awesome fucking exchange to end it.
He's a great finisher. That Claymore kick is so believable to knock people the fuck out.
Yeah, and I know people have kind of been hesitant or critical on Face Drew, but I dig Face Drew. The only thing I don't like is the stupid countdown before the claymore.
Yeah,
It's pretty fucking stupid.
It was cool the way, like, I like the way Seth countered it because it gives away he's coming for it. So
Right.
it's the countdown right into a super kick.
Yeah, and Seth's smart.
That's
He's
a
a
good
smart fucking dude. Obviously, he's going to catch it.
It's great. But yeah, no, I mean, he was starting to get over. Like at Royal Rumble when he beat Brock, obviously, and when he won it, everyone fucking loved him.
Yeah.
I think the win at WrestleMania would have solidified it with the crowd there.
Such a bummer that dude got his big moment with no crowd. Because if you think about that, the journey, and they even mentioned on commentary, which is pretty cool, because when he hit the future shot DDT, and they're like, oh yeah, that was the finisher that, he used to use all the time and everything, and how he started from the bottom. And they even mentioned him getting fired, which was pretty cool. And then how he came back. Like the dude
he looked his ass off.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the proven points of people who've gotten fired, and he went and did the thing. He was a champion everywhere he fucking went. Yeah. And he came back and did the same thing in NXT. Unfortunately, he got injured for a while, but I feel like that helped him in the long run because when he debuted in the main roster, he was fresh. And people were like, oh, fuck, this is what's up.
Yeah. That gave people that time to want for him to come back.
Yep.
And I think the way he came back as a heel was kind of cool, too, because you're kind of giving people not what they wanted, but he's back.
Yeah, because he was totally different when he was – because what he's doing now is closer to what he was doing in NXT, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think dude deserves it.
Drew, I think he can be as big as he wants to be. They just need to not do the shitty, write the shitty promos for him like they did for Roman back in the day.
Yeah, because
you can tell some of it's kind of forced when he's talking.
Yeah, I like how he's been kind of like talking to the camera and stuff. That seems like natural him, which that comes off like cool. Like he knows what he can do, but he's not some robot face head of the company guy, If they let him be him, it'll be fine.
Yeah, he's a super cool dude that everyone wants to hang out with and fucking be friends with and be their fucking badass buddy. That's what they want their champion to be.
Yeah, like what else do you want more than that?
Like that's what Steve Austin was.
Yeah,
was the dude you wanted to drink beer and
be bros with,
do crazy shit with. Yeah,
yeah. So after that, there was a few little promo things. The thing with R-Truth saying that he won for one, which was fucking hilarious, and then he said that he needed to sack Tom Brady to win whatever the long-winded answer he said, the 24/7, 48/7 I-95 champion. R-Truth is hilarious. That was great.
He's another guy that you forget how long he's been around for, and he's still killing it.
Yeah, he's funny. The role he's taken in the past couple of years has definitely been the right role for him, for sure.
Yeah. No, they figured out what he's good at, and they just plug him in.
Yeah. And then
he's just a naturally funny dude.
Yeah, super funny. And then the one thing they said before they got into the Money in the Bank matches is that the winner of the Women's Money in the Bank is going to
I wrote that down too.
is going to confront Becky. Like, what's the point of winning the Money in the Bank championship if you're just going to set up a program with them?
Yeah, so you're kind of saying no one from SmackDown's going to win because what's the point? Like the whole thing, like Lacey's building up how she's going to come for Bayley. Well, why is if Lacey wins, why is she going to confront Becky on Raw?
Yeah.
Like, you just give away shit like that.
Yeah. And even if it was, whatever it's show specific, but why would the winner confront the champion? That's like the opposite thing. It's not like they won the Royal Rumble. They won the Money in the Bank. They can cash in whenever. Like why?
Yeah, they like to shoot themselves in the foot with shit like that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So both the Money in the Bank matches happen at the same time. They have to start. The only thing that sucked is obviously they eliminated any way of someone cashing in because for one, they put it on last, and for two, they're in completely different states. So no way anyone's going to make a flight from Connecticut to Florida to cash in. Though it would have been funny if they started with it and someone cashed in, like they flew in a private jet or something. That would have been kind of, because obviously it would have been possible because I think they pre-taped these two matches, and then I don't know if the rest were live or pre-taped.
Looked like everything but the Braun match was live.
Oh, okay. I wasn't paying enough attention where I would have noticed. But yeah, I mean, I guess they could have if they started with it, I guess. But whatever, it would have been it would have been pretty wacky, but it would have been cool. It would have been unexpected for sure. So on the men's side, they had Daniel Bryan, Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, King Corbin, Otis, and AJ Styles. On the women's side, they had Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Carmella. So the intro, fucking awkward as fuck.
It's very weird.
They're all doing their poses. They have entrance music.
Elevators. Yeah.
And then they kept switching between the men and the women.
Yeah, the locker room one was, or the gym one was definitely weirder. Everyone just kind of wandering in their full gear.
With the terrible shit talk.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very. I don't think there was a need for entrances in this one.
Though the Corbin line was pretty funny, honestly.
Well, just him walking in full, robe and crown scepter. Like he walked into the headquarters wearing that.
I must say, this whole thing was really entertaining. It was fun to watch. It was wacky. It was wild. I love how it starts off with them fighting, and Ray is just using the fucking gym equipment as a jungle gym, flipping and kicking people. Corbin breaks the fucking mirror with a weight, which the look on his face after he breaks it was amazing.
Because everyone knows that's Vince McMahon's private gym. Like,
he's like, yeah. And the woman's side, no one knows where Asuka is, and she jumps off the top over the elevators and then gets in the elevator first and goes out. They definitely, I'm fine with crazy Asuka or like GIF Asuka, like everything she does turns into a GIF. But the screaming and stuff was too much for me. I don't know. And it was, even that was kind of, I feel like they made her do it, and it was almost borderline racist too, just because she's of Asian descent and she just has to like scream random noises. Because my wife is part Asian too, and I'm just like, really?
It's one of those things where like she does it once and it gets mentioned a lot online afterwards. So all right, you gotta do it every time now and do it 10 times louder and dumber.
Yeah, dial it up to fucking 1,000.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean she was definitely a bright spot in the match, just with that kind of stuff. But she brought the laughs.
But like her dancing and doing weird shit, I thought that was funny. That was fine.
But there's points where she does it too much too, where she's doing it for 10 straight seconds. You're like, all right.
Yeah, it's a little too overboard for sure.
Yeah.
And then was that Brother Love in the bathroom?
Yes, it was.
That was pretty great.
Which was great. Yeah, I thought it was perfect little foreshadowing before the Undertaker thing afterwards. And
yes. Which, speaking of the Undertaker thing, amazing.
Oh yes.
That was so cool to play in. Well, because obviously AJ came back. They didn't really explain anything. He got buried alive, and he's just back.
His two friends disappeared.
Yeah, which obviously this was pre-taped, and I don't know if it was before they were released or not. I think it was taped before they were released. But even if people buy that merch, they're still getting checks.
Good for them.
You know, so
Yeah.
collect that fucking money.
Get that 25 cents.
Yeah. Well, apparently they make a lot of money on merch, don't they?
I know it's a percentage. I think somewhere between 7 and 14 for most people. Don't quote me, but I think.
Because it seems like, from what I've heard from interviews, is that people who still get paid and stuff, they're like, yeah, well, I'll just get a check for like thousands of dollars. It's like, okay.
get it.
Or when like CM Punk was talking about how in his like peak time, he was making more money than John Cena in merch and just making 6 figures in merch and shit like that. Insane shit. It was something crazy like that. I think he said on the Colt Cabana podcast, the most controversial podcast episode ever.
When they got him sued and destroyed his friendship.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but whatever.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But yeah, the Taker setups were awesome. Him going in, and I wonder if Black kicking him and putting him in it was either a tie that he might be connected to him, or maybe setting up for a future match.
Because was it on Raw? They had Taker come out and kind of save Alistair from a beatdown between
I think so.
AJ and the club. So
yeah,
they definitely kind of like loosely tie them together.
Which would be cool if they eventually do that. That would be sick. Because they're both like, you know, like the weird, mysterious dudes.
The creepy cult guys, yeah.
Creepy cult guys. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was awesome. Obviously, he saw the picture first, the huge fucking WrestleMania picture, and then the room opened up with the casket. And I love that they glitched in the stuff from the Boneyard match. That was awesome.
The good response they got from the Firefly Funhouse, like now and the Boneyard match, like they figured it out. Like they know how to do this kind of shit now,
which is good.
So
they did those pretty well. So I'm all for that.
They mixed the right amount of action and like the random dumb stuff, like the Brother Love and the John Laurinaitis.
Yes, that was Otis pieing John Laurinaitis.
Yeah, the food fight that for some reason
Heyman.
They love putting food fights and things for some reason.
They do love putting food fights and stuff.
So yeah, like I said, the right blend of violence and just slapstick comedy.
Yeah, before the food fight, there was that awesome part where they're in the conference room and Dana takes down the old Money in the Bank briefcase and she thinks she won. And then Stephanie comes in. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So that's someone who I was like, why is Dana Brooke in this thing? But she totally made it all worth it with all that stuff.
Yeah, and then Carmelo took her poster and broke it over. Yeah. And then during the food fight, she still has it over her, which was fucking hilarious.
Still wearing it.
Yeah, that was great. There was a bunch of awesome moments in the food fight. Shayna's choking out Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. Only for him to get crushed between
Nia and Otis. Which was also great. What else was there?
Destroyed this thing.
He did. I actually think he got.
We don't know where he is.
We'll get to it. We'll get to that part later.
Yeah.
And then Otis and Nia face off with Otis fucking like slobbering the fucking sandwich in his mouth, which was great. And then that led to the pie thing with John Laurinaitis, which was funny. Otis is hilarious, honestly. He's funny.
He's great.
He's a funny guy.
I can't wait for there to be fans when he comes out because I think he's just going to be massively over.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, he really is, but I think more so now after getting Mandy and all that stuff, and now
that was good storytelling on their part. They even though the story wasn't like the greatest thing in the world, they finished the story. So good for them.
Yeah,
kudos for that.
About time.
And then that led into Vince's office with AJ and Daniel Bryan, which was great. The only thing I hated about the cameos is they played their entrance music in the background. It wasn't really needed. You know who these people are. You don't need to fucking put their entrance music in the background. It's pointless. Yeah. It just kind of takes you out of it a little, But that was hilarious. It was funny because Sam goes, because she noticed the hand sanitizer and she goes, really? No one's going to use the hand sanitizer when they get out? Because I was kind of hoping that AJ would use it with his gloves and rub it with his gloves. But then Vince did use it, so that was fun. That was good. It was good that they used it at least.
For a guy notorious of like not believing in people being sick, it's funny that he was the guy to use the hand sanitizer.
Yeah, it was good.
You knew they had to go in the office somehow, and it was clever the way they did it.
Oh yeah, it was super, super good. And then when they get out of it, and Brian goes, "You were really a coward." And then he goes, he's like, "Yeah, you told us to go move the chairs back." And he goes, "Oh yeah, I did do that."
And then he just pops him in the face.
Yeah, that was
so good.
It's because those two dudes are funny. They're funny dudes, and they can be insanely funny. So it was nice to see them let them be funny for sure.
Definitely.
And then we finally get to the top of the building. It's the girls first. Not a lot happens once they get to the building, especially in the girls' part.
I thought with the way they were showing off the state, like they're set up on the roof, like they would be there for a little longer than they were.
And have some like wild spots.
Yeah, there really wasn't much.
No. And then Corbin comes out and tries to stop Asuka for some reason.
There wasn't really no explanation for that.
It's like, why would he just grab his briefcase?
Yeah, other than he's just being a dick.
Yeah.
Because he's King Corbin.
Yeah, I was like, why did he do that?
Yeah, that made no sense either.
And then Asuka wins. She knocks down Corbin, her only foe, apparently, left after knocking out all the women.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. And then
a lot of the girls, they just disappeared.
Yeah, they just didn't make it to the top, I guess.
They never made it to the roof. Did Nia ever get up after Dana hit her with the chair?
Yeah, because was she on the roof? It was Nia and Lacey. I think were the three at the top, and that was it.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't make it, and Asuka wins. I don't know.
I guess she's going against Becky.
Yeah. She honestly wasn't on my list of people that I would have picked to win.
I honestly thought just Shayna was going to win.
Yeah, I would have expected her just to have that rematch.
Yeah. Or her to have it in her back pocket to kind of get revenge for losing or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, because you can kind of say it was kind of a fluke win roll-up at WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
She didn't really get beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Asuka's...
It's fine.
Yeah.
I guess these two outcomes were the two outcomes I kind of had ideas, but they were the two that were surprises for sure compared to the rest of it.
Oh, yeah. I would not have picked the other one.
No, yeah. So the men finally get up there. Corbin kills Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black, apparently. Just throws them off the roof.
Yeah, they don't say what happens to them. There's no follow-up. They're just gone.
He just murders two people. That's fine, I guess.
Mysterio had, between getting choked out by Shayna, crushed by Nia and Otis, running into Brother Love, and then getting thrown off a roof.
Yeah.
They had a rough
night. Yeah. Oh, I did leave out that he did trap AJ Styles.
Oh,
that was Otis, but he asked Ray to help him. Yeah, I don't understand why AJ was so mad at Ray, even though he just didn't help him.
The whole point,
whatever. Yeah. That's fine.
I mean, it was just funny watching AJ try to act like he was trapped under there when he could clearly
tell that he wasn't. Yeah. He's like, oh, you can see him like leaning into it. I'm so trapped.
Yeah, it was good.
It was pretty great. And then Corbin and AJ are at the top. They both get a hold of it. Elias comes out of nowhere, hits Corbin with a guitar. He falls off. And then at first, I thought AJ had complete control of it. And then he dropped it and Otis got it. And I go, no. AJ fucking had it. And then they showed the replay and he didn't. He fumbled it.
Oh.
They did do it right. And he fumbled it.
Finish.
Otis catches it, wins Money in the Bank. The most not seen ending probably ever.
It was executed flawlessly the way they did it.
It was.
It was a great ending. Yeah, I did not expect Otis to win, but I'm not mad about it because he's entertaining as hell, and I think this opens up so many possibilities now for what he could do with having Mandy with him in the briefcase, and what does that do with him and Tucker now? Because he is in a tag team, so what does that do? Yeah, I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was a super creative ending, and I think Otis is super entertaining too. The only thing that sucks is I don't see him winning, trying to get, well, at least now, unless the titles change. But even if they're people who beat these people, they're going to be a big deal. So it's almost like I was talking to a couple of friends as it was happening in like different wrestling group chats or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, Otis is entertaining and the ending was cool, but it's almost a waste. Like, who is he going to cash in and win on?
Yeah. It's one of those, like, so what the story will be, or I guess in theory, like a story could be, Tucker costs him something, or Mandy tricks him into giving it to someone else or something, like down the road, shit like that. But yeah, I think it just opens up a lot of stuff he can do, because
for sure,
people have latched onto him because he is so likable.
Yeah, he's a great personality. He's hilarious.
Yeah. He just says the weirdest things. Like,
yeah, he does.
What was he saying in the gym? Flex and squats or something like that. Like he was just screaming.
It sounded like he was saying sex though, which was even funnier.
I wasn't sure if it was that.
He could have been saying sex and squats, or
it was just like, what the hell?
Yeah, he's a funny fucking guy.
And the way he won was perfect. Like he fell into his hand.
Literally fell into his hand. Definitely was a creative ending. I will give them that. I'm definitely not mad at it. I just hope it's not wasted in the end, which obviously we've seen a lot of times. Like when Braun won, he cashed in for a normal match, which is stupid as fuck, and then he lost. It's just like, what the fuck was the point of that?
Corbin, when Corbin first won it,
he just lost.
He cashed and lost. Who else did? Someone else.
Sandow, when he was super over too. That was an insane missed opportunity. Dude was fucking over as fuck. He went to cash in and lost. Terrible.
Yeah. So yeah, it's, and especially because they kind of stay brand specific on things. So see, Otis is on SmackDown. So who's SmackDown champ?
Braun.
So he's not going to challenge Braun. So let's say Fiend does win. Is he going to challenge the Fiend?
Yeah. Though, I don't know. Unless he's somehow tricked Bray Wyatt, I guess. But even Bray Wyatt, like, it's not like just like a slump dude. Like,
yeah.
Like even tonight, they made him a formidable opponent for Braun, like, which is a big deal. He got to win more offense than Goldberg did. So, which Goldberg has 2 moves, so.
It's and I guess you really can't do much to a guy that size when you're that old.
No,
there's only so much you can do.
Remember when he won the title beating the Fiend with a vertical suplex? Because I do.
That's just a recipe for disaster. A 50-something-year-old man in Saudi Arabian heat after a 24-hour plane ride or whatever.
Yeah.
And then put him in a ring with a 300-pound guy and tell him to try and pick him up.
Yeah, peak conditions, honestly.
Yeah, it's well worth that huge check he cashed.
To him, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
That match was even a step up from the Undertaker one, which was, whew, they almost killed each other multiple times. It was bad.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
the Saudi Arabian events are it's not good for anyone.
No, I never watched them because I refused to support that nonsense. But
they're very strange.
I'll see the retweeted clips and gifs on Twitter, and that's how I see the nonsense that happens in there.
Well, a lot of guys working safe, trying not just going through the motions.
Yeah, cashing that check.
Yep.
So if you were to rate this one 1 to 10, what would you give it?
Probably 7.
Yeah,
it was like the first couple matches they were okay, weren't
Yeah.
great. Kind of started to tail off a little bit, and then the Money in the Bank stuff really saved it because
Yeah.
that was just nonstop entertainment the entire time.
It was definitely funny for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
I think I would have given it like a 6 or a 7 in that range. Like it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible by any means.
Yeah, the quality of matches were good. It, it's just hard, I guess, for them, like for anyone, just because of the way shit is right now and
Yeah.
trying to get stories across and
Yeah.
there's shit changing.
It's hard for them even with crowds. So
Yeah,
when you don't have a
that's
crowd,
true.
it makes it even harder for them.
That's true.
But though, obviously we've said not the most positive things about WWE, but they did put out a decent pay-per-view for sure.
No, it was, yeah. They, well, obviously being able to do the cinematic stuff
Helps. Yeah.
because that takes away from the crowd not being there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the in ring stuff is fine because they have great professional wrestlers that know what they're doing. It's just you're putting them at a disadvantage with no one out there.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, pretty good show. I definitely in agreement with the rating there for sure. So I wrap up these podcasts with a little thing I call Metalcore Minute. It's basically just a minute. You talk about what you've been into lately. Obviously, we all kind of have more free times in our hands. So whether it's new music, movies, TV shows, whatever you're watching, lay it on me. Are you ready?
So I'm ready.
All right, go.
So now that I've been home, I've been putting a lot more hours into my Xbox One. Playing a lot of NBA, a lot of FIFA. Finally getting into Destiny 2. So I'm doing a lot of hours of that. Finally got through all 3 seasons of Ozark while being home.
Nice.
Girlfriend and I just started watching Succession, which is pretty good.
Heard good things.
Weird. It's very slow and dramatic-y, but it's good. Musically, I really don't listen to a lot of new stuff other than the stuff we work with, just because I kind of live in that bubble. I get tunnel vision and just like a lot of Kingsman lately because that record just came out.
Yes.
And then if it's not that, it's a lot of 90s grunge metal, a lot of older stuff.
That's cool.
That's really not it. Yeah, with the quarantine, it's just a lot of the Xbox time now and email time. That's pretty much what I do.
I feel that for sure. Is there anything you want to plug?
I mean, I guess just check out all of our artists that we work with. Go to sheltermusic.com. A lot of great new albums coming out recently. A lot of new music coming out. These artists are struggling like everyone else.
Yep.
They're looking for a way to get their music to you without being able to actually be there in person. So anything you can do to check out, please do. You never know what you'll find.
For sure. Awesome, man. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
No, of course, man. Anytime.
This was fun.
Yeah. I don't really talk about wrestling that much with other people. It's fun.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like doing it with different people too. Obviously, when we've seen each other, we'll talk about it. But
yeah.
It's nice hearing other people's perspective on things, for sure.
It's great.
Hell yeah, man. I'll talk
Thank
to you
later. Thank you for having me.
Hey,
Absolutely.
I loved it.
All right, dude.
All right, see you later, man.
Later.
That's it for this one. I hope all you wrestling nerds are liking these pay-per-view recaps. I've definitely been having fun with them. I definitely plan on continuing with them. As always, if you want to support the podcast, follow on social media at Metalcore Nerds, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the episodes, tell your friends, subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, follow on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, or wherever you find your podcasts. And if you want to support monetarily, you go to redcircle.com/metalcore-nerds/donations. Until next time, this is Metalcore Nerds.